This is Julian Deal. I'm here at the meeting of the Medieval Academy of America in St. Louis, and I'm talking to John France, who is the Professor of Medieval History at the University of Swansea and the visiting professor at the United States Military Academy at West Point. John, we know you as a medieval historian. Can you say something about how you came to decide to become a medieval historian? How did that go?
Well, partly I think that I was born in the shadow of Durham Cathedral, which is one of the most splendid medieval buildings in the United Kingdom. And I think that always stayed with me, that image of power and majesty. And secondly, when I was a student, I happened to be taught by two very distinguished medievalists, Sir J.C. Holt and Professor Bernard Hamilton. And they really sort of inspired me, because medieval history enables a student to reach into the source material very quickly. And they guided me into the source material, and that engaged me as nothing else had ever engaged me. So although I'd gone to study modern history, I switched over to medieval history very quickly.
Your later work has been involved in the military history of the Middle Ages. How did you get into that? What has been the thread that led you into and through that?
The path that led me into it most directly was an interest in the Crusades, which I got from my teachers, and particularly Bernard Hamilton. But something else was at work as well, and that is the sense that you have to find a way of understanding medieval society. And I found that in a world dominated very much by warfare and conflict, the study of war opened up doors to me. It enabled me to see medieval society, as it were, up close and personal, in a way that I hadn't found possible in any other route, by any other route.
You have a long history of study and research and teaching in this area. What are your current interests? Where is your work taking you at the moment?
Well, I've just finished a very general history of warfare. What I would like to do in the near future is to produce a textbook, really. I'm thinking of a textbook which will utilize source material a great deal, and which will guide students into this field and give them a sense of its possibilities. That was done for me by teachers. I think it can be done just as well by a good textbook. And I think it's important to enlist students, as it were, focus their attention when they're relatively young and not fixed on other things. And in that way, the field will be able to improve and widen itself.
Just one final point. The subject area you're presenting in a session at the Medieval Academy meeting, which is going to be dealing with new developments and new paradigms in medieval military history. I just wondered what you felt in your experience the last 30, 40 years, where the new paradigms and the new developments are occurring. What is happening? Is medieval military history becoming a question of social and cultural history of warfare, or are we still dealing with the nitty-gritty of war and battle? Where does it happen for you?
Well, there has been in the past these two tendencies, rather separate, to treat war as a cultural entity. I'm rather sceptical of that, and I think more and more people are becoming sceptical of the idea that it is cultural. And I think we are beginning to explore other ways of looking at warfare. At the same time, you can't just look at what I call metal bashing. You have to set the armies and what they do in the context of their society. And I think modern writing about medieval history has been very encouraging in that sense. And we're beginning now to see how intimately warfare is involved in the development of medieval society. And there are people still who resist that idea. But warfare really is very central, and it has cultural implications. It has very far-reaching implications, for example, chivalry, but it also affects the ideas about the development of the state, which is a very important matter that perhaps we've somewhat neglected in recent years. it also gives us an insight into the way in which rather ordinary people, and that's something that perhaps is very new. We're beginning to see ways in which the mass of the population is caught up in these struggles, rather than seeing medieval warfare as an affair of kings, queens, knights, and people who look like the picture cards in a pattern, in a deck of cards.
Okay, thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.